to the trading bell. We are right here at Bamburi. I know you're seeing green and you're wondering, Bamburi and green? Yes, there's a lot of work that they're doing. We're going to have an amazing conversation with the CEO and MD, Mohit Kapoor. He's right here. He's right here. And of course, Johnson. Yes, the site manager as well. And we're going to have an amazing time and a tour and discussing Bamburi in detail. What are they doing? What's the business like? Mohit Kapoor, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Maina.
It's good to have you.
Pleasure.
Wow, I have seen a lot of big machines happening, things are happening, the activities on. But first, before we get there, it's been about 9 months now since you took this particular seat. And I just wanted to ask you, how has it been just in general?
Very nice, I must say. Thank you so much, Maina, for being here.
Yeah.
Amazing, I would say.
Yeah.
As I was mentioning earlier, amongst the various expatriations that I've been through, perhaps the easiest one that I've really felt very comfortable to just come in and get adjusted has been my experience in Kenya.
Wow.
The initial months were a bit, spent to understand the business, the customers and the context. During those initial months, there was also an opportunity to revamp the leadership team. So by around the third quarter, the quarter of July, we had the new team in place. And then after that, we are just rolling in and managing the business with our vision and focus.
Excellent, excellent. Let's get to the matter that, because you've been in the news of late a little bit, and addressing some recent incident that we have heard about coal storage preparations, some Mombasa residents saying a few things here and there. And I just wanted to hear from your end, just in terms of context and the measures that you've put in place to ensure that you're coexisting well and there's minimal impact on operations to enhance environmental stewardship and community engagement.
So I've read some of these news in the media as well, and I want to clear the air absolutely clearly is that Bamburi cement operations were not impacted at all, not even a single bit. What had happened was that towards the end of December, in our quarry storage area, we were preparing the ground, the teams were preparing the ground to receive the next shipment. And during that preparation process, unfortunately, due to a huge gutsy wind that blew at that time, some of the fine material that they were kind of leveling it kind of flew in the air and probably was carried a bit by the air. Ideally, what should have happened is a little bit of sprinkling of water could have helped immediately, or probably they would have stopped the activity for until the wind subsides, and there would have been nothing. And let's say even if it kind of flew, a simple phone call or a message that, by the way, something is happening, fix it, it would have been resolved. Unfortunately, it did not, and then it took a completely different turn on its own. I must reassure everybody that Bamburi is absolutely compliant on all these matters, and I'm mentioning it because some of these have been reported in the media, so I want to take the opportunity to correct that. We are fully compliant, we have all the licenses, we have been operating in those areas, our quarry and our plant, for the last several decades. Nothing of this sort has happened, and but nonetheless, the county government visited, they understood. I also had a meeting with the governor and the deputy governor and the DG of NEMA, and I explained them, and they understood absolutely well what the issue was. But nonetheless, in order to assure all the stakeholders, do a little bit of sprinkling more, perhaps a better coordination in terms of joint working together, take some extra measures, which we said happily we would do it. And not only that, if there's something more to be done, we would do it. So Bamburi, in fact, they were always supporting the things that we've been doing in terms of the environment. We've also received several awards and recognitions, and we just hope that we continue like that. Now, I cannot do a bit about what's sometimes wrongly reported in the media also,
you're right,
but it gives me an opportunity to clarify that.
Thank you so much for that clarification. And I believe there is now an amicable solution all towards operating well with the community. Let's talk about now, let's go to your performance and strategy, because I'm sure your shareholders are watching and they would really be glad to hear from you and how this is going on. So you've been a key player in this particular industry, and I would like you to summarize the company's performance in the past year and any strategic initiatives that have contributed to this performance.
So I can say that 2023, we've just closed the year.
Yeah.
We are still yet to publish the numbers. But I can say that our leadership team had been very focused in terms of how do we navigate the company in the context that we are operating in. And in that context, I would say it gives me very, very positive feeling about the performance we've just concluded in 2023.
Yeah.
Our top line has grown. Our volumes have also grown, even though marginally. The prices have also grown marginally again, probably less than 3%. And the top line has actually grown by more than double digit.
Oh.
So it's a good progress. And we have our internal targets and internal stretch targets. So it gives me a lot of pleasure to share that the Bamburi Group achieved its stretch targets for 2023.
Wow.
And that means better bonuses for our employees this year.
Yeah.
But I must say that it has all happened in the lot of hard work and effort that the teams have made. Especially, I would like to call out the industrial performance.
Yeah.
Our industrial performance has improved significantly, and that has led to enhanced efficiencies and lowering of costs per unit of cement that we produce.
Yeah.
And that has also helped us significantly to navigate the cost pressures that we had been facing. So the currency devaluation led to increase of raw material costs. The power costs have gone up significantly. The fuel cost has gone up significantly. So in this context, to be able to reduce your cost by 3% has been a lot of effort and challenge. On the commercial side, the teams have worked a lot with the consumers in terms of new products, in terms of the enhanced customer service that we do.
Yeah.
And also I would say that on the sustainability agenda, we are moving very fast on all the levers that we've identified for themselves. So net 23 has been a good year.
Okay, and I'll come for your at least 1 or 2, 3 highlights on the sustainability report that you released. But before I get there, let me ask you, in general, that you did well, does it mean that looking at the entire ecosystem of the country and the construction, because you're purely at the heart of construction, that means people are building a lot?
Yes. Yes. And I think if you look at the mega trends, the focus on urbanization is going to continue.
Yeah.
The focus on affordable housing is going to continue.
Okay.
These big projects, I'm sure there was earlier roads and dams and these expressways.
Yeah.
Going forward, we see a lot of focus on affordable housing.
Okay.
I'm also reading a lot about the SGR Phase 2 and other projects coming up. The trend to go vertical also is happening. When I see the construction in Westland and in Parklands, how some of these multi-rises are multi-level buildings are coming up.
Okay.
So the trend is there.
Okay.
Of course, a bit impacted by the current context in terms of super inflationary.
You're right.
I'm sure it also has an impact in terms of the overall demand. But net, I see a positive growth trend for an emerging economy like Kenya.
Okay. Speaking on the market trends and challenges, I don't know what's in your interest when you sit here and you say, wow, we need to come up and tackle these particular challenges. In this particular sector, what are these current market trends that are impacting the company?
So, first of all, I would say, let's say from the market context, demand.
Yeah.
The demand for building materials was, I would say, quite strong until Q3 last year, 2023, maybe up till October. From November onwards, we are seeing a little bit of subdued demand, but we are hopeful that probably now, as we progress into the 2024, things should improve and the demand should come back. In terms of the cost pressures, as I mentioned, yes, the power cost has increased by, when I compare, let's say, January 22 to December 23, our power cost has gone up by 48%. And when you look at January alone, there's an additional increase of 17.5%.
That's huge.
That's huge, absolutely. Then there is energy is a key component in terms of our cost structure, so it impacts us quite significantly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When you look at the currency devaluation, a lot of raw materials that we import, like energy, coal, slag, and other things, because of the exchange rate, the cost in Kenyan shilling has gone up. then because of the fuel cost increases, everything in the supply chain gets impacted. You know, the transportation cost goes up, the suppliers of raw material also pass on these cost increases. Yeah. So it's a bit of a, let's say, cost inflationary context that we are operating in.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, that whatever it takes, which is in our control, to improve our efficiencies and productivity, to minimize the impact of these cost increases, we are doing it. We have not been able to successfully pass on all these cost increases to the consumer. We've tried a bit, as I mentioned, over last year, price increase, ASP as we call it, average selling price, versus 2022 has been marginal, 2.4% only.
Okay.
So that's something that we have to do. But on the other side, we are also making our effort to influence and work with our stakeholders to move to greener solutions and greener products, which have a less CO2 footprint. It's not happening on its own, but we are making our efforts to work with our partners to make it happen. On the other side, when you look at energy, cost is going up. We are now in the process of setting up a 20 megawatt solar power plant in our operations in Mombasa and Nairobi. Now this will help us move towards more affordable and greener energy. And our power bills naturally would be, it will give us a positive flip. On the supply chain, again, we are moving significantly from road to rail.
Yeah.
So rail becomes less CO2 footprint and at the same time economically better off. And we are engaging again all the stakeholders in the government, even in Kenya Railways and National Construction, to work with us on this agenda. For example, recycling waste, solid waste into our operations. Yeah. It helps in the environment, at the same time it helps in minimizing the adverse cost impact as well. Okay. So there are various levers that we are working on.
I can tell.